Correspondents Association just releasing a statement after Donald Trump tweeted that he is breaking with tradition and not attending that dinner. This is what it says. The White House Correspondents Association looks forward to having its annual dinner on April 29th. The White House Correspondents Association takes note of President Donald Trump's announcement on Twitter that he does not plan to attend the dinner, which has been and will continue to be a celebration of the First Amendment and the important role played by an independent news media and a healthy republic. We look forward to shining a spotlight at the dinner on some of the best political journalism of the past year and recognizing the promising students who represent the next generation of our profession. And the guy behind that statement, behind that organization, Jeff Mason, now joining us from the White House briefing room. I know that you've been busy, Jeff, once this tweet came out, figuring out how to respond, and it's noteworthy that you're talking about, even though this is the big guest, right, who normally is not coming, that you're saying the role is going to be talking about and highlighting the independent news media in a healthy republic.
That's right. This dinner is about journalism. This dinner is about the First Amendment. And we look forward to having the dinner to celebrate those two things. We give out scholarships every year, more than $100,000 worth to students who are promising upcoming journalists. We look forward to doing that again and giving awards to members who have done terrific journalism over the last year. We have been trying to emphasize now for weeks that this dinner is about journalists, and obviously there's always some attention given to the President of the United States. It's President Trump's decision not to come. We will continue to have this dinner, and we will focus on what we want to focus on, which is the good work that is guaranteed and protected by the First Amendment.
When's the last time this happened, that the President decided not to come?
My understanding is that the last time a president did not attend the Correspondents' Dinner was President Reagan in the early 1980s after he was shot.
Okay, that's obviously a very different situation. So this is, you're highlighting that this is about scholarships, and it certainly is, but it has become this sort of huge spectacle to the point where people look forward to watching C-SPAN for this. You know this. It's this Hollywood collides with Washington kind of circus, and then it also has this element of the president and members of the government come, members of the media who hold them accountable come, and for one night they sort of, in a way that has decorum, they acknowledge the what is essential about that relationship. So since you don't have that, what is this signal that the White House, that the president doesn't want to have that acknowledgement?
Well, honestly, I'll have to have the White House and the President speak for themselves on what signal they want to send with that. It's not a surprise to say that the President has said many negative things about the media and comparing the media or suggesting that the media is the enemy of the American people. That, of course, is something that the Correspondents Association and journalists reject. The media is an incredibly important part of a vibrant republic, and we celebrate that at that dinner. It's up to him to decide whether or not he wants to come, but the Correspondents Association and the members who work in this room every day will continue to do our jobs and write the news and tell the truth about this administration, as we have done about every administration before.
I was very lucky to sit next to you in the briefing as a White House correspondent for CNN for a few years there. And thank you very much. And I should, you know, full disclosure, I am a card-carrying member of the White House Correspondents Association. The association is known for this dinner, but the association does a lot of daily work. In that regard, for our viewers, describe that, and also describe some of, I guess, the challenges. This isn't the only administration you've had them with, but if you can just sort of talk about some of the things that the association has gotten involved in when it comes to press coverage of the White House.
Sure, I'm glad you asked that question. It's true that a lot of people in the American public associate that dinner with the White House Correspondents Association, and with good reason. It's a high-profile night. But our day-to-day work takes place right here in this briefing room, where we advocate for the press, where we push with administrations such as the Trump administration, the Obama administration, and every other one before that, for the ability and the right of journalists to ask questions and to have access to watch the president and his staff govern. And those are daily fights sometimes, whether it's a Republican or a Democratic president. We spend a lot of time negotiating and talking to the press staff, identifying what the needs of the press are and making sure that they can do their jobs. And that is right now, honestly, a full-time job. The dinner is an important part of our year. It's a fundraiser for our organization, but it is only one very small piece of what we do.
I know you insist the dinner is not going to be canceled, but
Nope.
it's still going to have a large attendance. But do you see it as being a different event than it has been in past years?
You know what? It was already going to be a different event, and we haven't had a whole lot of details about that yet. Obviously, the fact that the president has decided not to come will impact the dinner. It'll impact who sits up on the dais with the rest of the board. But no, I'm not going to cancel the dinner. We are going to uphold our mission, and we do that and celebrate that at that dinner. But what exact changes we're going to make, whether or not the president comes, we're still working on.
All right, we will stay tuned for that. Jeff Mason, president of the White House Correspondents Association. Thank you, sir.